Hi guys, I know it's been a while since I've been on. My youngest son's in the hospital, my boss. He's been in the hospital for about a month. So, if you get a moment, say a prayer for him. And I've been up there as much as I can. It's just that now I got a cold going on and I don't want to bring him anything. He's on life support. So, and I send out prayers to each of you. You have a happy, safe, healthy holiday season. So let's get into full moon reads. So this is for Gemini. And it's full moon in your guys' sign. So before we get started, let's pray. Great Creator, Father God, Divine Mother, Mother Mary, angels, ancestors, and spirit guides, I just pray and ask for wisdom and clarity for any messages that need to come through for the collective sign of Gemini. For this, their full moon and Gemini read. In Jesus' name, amen. Alright, one more shuffle. Start out with the Moonology deck. One off the top, one off the bottom. Be bold and make the first move. Cardinal Moon. One off the bottom. Take time to breathe out. Disseminating Moon. So, listen. This is... Gemini is a sign of twins. So you got that dual thing going. Duality. Take time for yourself, but don't hold back waiting for life to find you. And I think that's what the big lesson here is. So let's go with the Moonology Manifestation deck. Also by Yasmin Boland. Okay, let's go to Moonology Manifestation. I can't even talk today either. We'll do another shot. Here we go. Alright, so, Gemini. First quarter moon in Aries, step into your power. Emperor mode. Last quarter moon in Capricorn, leave the past behind. That's what's holding me back here. I feel like life is right there for you to take it, and you're not grabbing hold of it because of the past. The past is holding you back. And one more. Last quarter moon in Scorpio, reveal what needs to be seen. And that's funny, you got first quarter moon and two last quarter moons here. With Scorpio, reveal what needs to be seen. I don't think you're seeing everything. Like, look. We'll put it this way. Aries, step into your power. Aries is Emperor mode, okay? There's a tendency when you deal with duality of, I can't do it because I don't want to succeed. That's one side of it. And then there's another side of it of, I can't do it because I'm afraid I'm going to fail. Or I can do it and because I have the power to do it, I have the ability to do it, and I can go for it, against the I can't do it. So there's this internal with the duality of struggling through this. So you have to ask yourself, and each of us have to do that. It's part of the shadow work. If you're going to stay in this victim mode of defeatism, I can't do it because I can't do it. I never succeeded anything and I can't do it without this happening or without this person. I can't do it by myself, that type of thing. Or, not even or, that's part of the shadow work. You're going to have to face that. Because there's things here that you're not seeing. And you're just not seeing it. I don't think you want to see it at this point. In the energy of this full moon, the moon is really The moon is divine feminine energy, but it's also emotions. That's the reason with the moon cycles. And you can even look at the Bible. The feast and the celebrations were coincided with the moon cycles. It's all about emotions. It's all about bringing what's hidden to light, bringing it to the surface so it can be healed, so it can be dealt with, so that emotions can be those things that are at the root of it, that are driving the course of our life emotionally, because many of us exist in the seat of our emotions. You guys are still an air sign, so you're still in that place of thoughts stuck in your head. So everything exists in your mind, but what you're not seeing is coming out of your head and not seeing a level of truth here. And part of shadow work is seeing your own responsibility in the choices that you've made. You can see when you're in that's what part of the shadow work is seeing your responsibility in the choices that you've made in life, or seeing your responsibility in whatever's happened. When we don't deal with the shadow, it's easy to point fingers and blame other people. I feel like here, you have the opportunity to take control of your life, step into the Emperor mode. The one thing you have to do, several things you have to do, though, is you have to dump this failure mentality, this victim mentality from the past. You have to reveal everything and see everything, including your own responsibility in what has occurred. And when you see your own responsibility, when you see your own actions, when you're able to then take responsibility for those, that's when you can bring healing, not just to yourself, but to other people. There are relationships that get severed because one person gets hurt, both sides get hurt. One takes responsibility for what they've done in the relationship, the other person doesn't. Then you get one person that is, if they're not taking responsibility for their own actions, then they're the victim, and that's when you go and they talk to Peter, Paul, and every other person around to spread their own story to get their story out. So sometimes it's not about your story, it's about the story. There's 3 sides to every story. Side A, side B, and the truth. So one more shuffle of the tarot deck and we'll pull a few tarot cards, which I need to reshuffle because apparently I still had more to say. Okay. And see, that's the thing too. If someone's hurt you in the past, or you feel like someone's hurt you in the past, a lot of this can be solved by open and honest communication. Conversation. Conversation can clear up so many different things. Instead of having that, look at that King of Pentacles. Instead of having that conversation, though, many will just run and say, no, this is the way it happened, and I'm not open to talk about it, and they'll just lie about it. Alright, so let's pull tarot. Ace of Cups. King of Wands. 8 of Pentacles. Page of Swords. 2 of Cups. I feel like that's a spy with the Page of Swords. There's a connection here, though. Ace of Pentacles. You get Ace of Cups and Ace of Pentacles. 8 of Cups. Knight of Pentacles. The Emperor. There's the Emperor. What did I tell you? Aries. And Ace of Swords. You got 3 aces. The ace that is missing is Ace of Wands. What did I say about communication? what I say about communication. Communication is what's lacking here. Who was it? MJ. Soulful Revolution had said, I forget what she said, when you got 3 aces on the board, it's not the 3 aces that are on the board, it's the ace that's missing, that's the important one. She's right, MJ. Thank you. Mary Jo, yeah. Because that's what's missing here is Ace of Wands. There's no beginning of conversation because there's still conversations that haven't happened yet. Honest conversations. What was it? I heard a sermon years ago. I'll say that before I get into each individual card. I heard a sermon years ago, and it's very true. Very true. And I just knocked down a card here. Hold on a second. The sermon, though, went, when you have a disagreement, and that's funny, Ace of Swords upside down. I put it on the back on the board. When you have a disagreement with your brother or your sister, instead of going to 10, 20 different people on the phone, have you ever thought about going to them and talking to them about it? That's what I feel like is being brought up. In the energy of this full moon, it's all the conversations you didn't have the right way. It may feel good, and there's that duality. It may feel good to get the attention of I'm the victim. But I think there's something a little bit deeper here than that. And I feel like that's deeper than just wanting to be the perpetual victim. There's something that you're not stepping into because you don't want to step into it.
I bought it.
You just don't want to do it. And it could be, and I feel like it's that sense of wanting it. And see, that's the other part of the shadow is sense of entitlement, handed it to you. Like delivering it to you. Sometimes you have to, it's like the equivalent of going to the door and getting UPS, opening the door and signing for the package. You still got to get the package. So which way do you want this to go? Because that's the thing, is that the one ace that's missing is Ace of Wands. To get King of Wands here, Aries energy. But the King of Wands too can be very temperamental. Aries can be temperamental, can be like throwing a temper tantrum. They want what they want when they want it and don't want to go through the process of getting it. They don't want to go through the healing. They don't want to go through putting in the time to work on themselves, take the time to build themselves up. So, I mean, it's like going through a divorce. You leave, the two of you split up. If the two of you split up, and together you were financially stable, the two of you may have to go down financially to be able to build up again solo. But we're in such a society where it's money-based, money-centered, and that there are relationships that stay together for money. Or leaving the relationship, it's all about money. I need to get paid. I need this. I mean, so it's very, like, this looks selfish. I'm just going to be honest with you. This looks selfish. But it's a selfishness that's rising to the surface. Because there are things you need to say. There are things you need to face about what you have said. That you're going to need to face them. And you're going to have to get on the phone and say, I was wrong. This is what I've said. This is what I've done. These are the conversations I've had. This is what I've done. This is the assumptions I've made. It's very easy to humble yourself and say, well, look at it from my point of view. This is what I thought. I was wrong. I apologize for being wrong. Now, if the person that you're talking to or you've talked about wants to reconcile with you, they'll go, I get it. And this is what happened on my end. So that's an honest conversation. This is what I'm saying. 2 aces here, 1 ace here. There's an ace that's completely missing. That's Ace of Wands. So there's still not a conversation being had that needs to be had. First ace is Ace of Cups. Then King of Wands. So that's the thing. It's like, I'm just going to be honest. This is what this feels like. It feels like sitting on your throne and loving the adoration. Loving the adoration. Because the shadow side to that Aries card, King of Wands, is temperamental. It's wanting the attention, and it's not wanting to give attention. And you got Eight of Pentacles, and this is where the work comes in. Eight of Pentacles. Working on yourself. But that's not where the work is. You're working on spying on somebody else. There's Page of Swords. This could be relationship here. That's what this is. Like, seriously, this could be a relationship. This is a relationship. Two of Cups. I feel like it's only that way in your own head, though. Like, you believe that the two of you are together. Believe the two of you should be together. There's a spying energy here of, I need to know what they're doing every second of the day, everything. This is the deal. Pull back for a minute. You can't make someone feel a certain way. You can't watch every single thing they do. You can't be like that. I mean, excuse me. I said I had a cold. I'm been fighting a cold, and it's rainy and wet outside and damp, and yeah, so it's not making it any better. Now listen. This is the thing. You can't make someone do what you want them to do. Even in a relationship, romantic relationship, family relationship, you can't do that. If you are meant to be with someone, you don't have to spend 24/7 with them. You don't have to be spying on them. You don't have to, I have to know every single thing they're doing every single day. And look, people have to work. My late husband and I, from the moment that we got together, he drove tow truck. So he was working 10, 12-hour days. Then he drove car carrier. Because what he was doing was delivering like repo cars and, when he drove car carrier, I could only go with him so long. And I got pregnant with our first child. And about 8 months in, I stopped riding with him. Now, after our first child was born, he still worked 4 days a week. He had 3 days off. One of those days, he slept all day. This is the problem I'm having. And I feel like this is what I'm looking at. This is what I'm looking at. Which is getting brought to the surface to be dealt with. Now, I'm not talking to everybody. This could be very specific. But when you are with somebody that works, they're working. If you are meant to be together, guess what? Let them work. Let them work. I have heard the complaint so many times that they work too much. They're working. They're working. You knew that when you got together with them. That's what I feel like is happening here. You want the attention. The only work you're putting in is to spy on them, to know what they're doing every single second of the day. You want a new beginning with them. Then it's very easy for you to throw this up in their face, following your heart, Eight of Cups. Knight of Pentacles, and it's slow moving, what you've been asking for, because you're not proving it to the great creator, you're not proving it to yourself that you're able to handle somebody that's working. Like, this is what this looks like. The Emperor mode. Like, it's slow moving because you don't want to step into that. If you could sit down, and make an excuse for every single thing that goes wrong in your life. You can make an excuse for it. You can come up with reasons. Everybody always has a reason. Everybody always has a reason. If the person's working, as a female, I don't even think it's just a female thing, though. As a female, I never understood why other females would complain because the men in their life were working so much. Then, if they weren't working, then it was a complaint too. Why is that a complaint then? Which way do you want it? This is how this feels. Like, you don't want to step into who you're supposed to be because you're so worried about them. So worried about them. This has nothing to do with them. This has to do with you. There's something that you can do in your life. Follow your heart. You can step into your own emperor solid mode. Taking control of your life and building a strong foundation. You can do that for yourself. The only thing that you want to do is this. That's where you're putting in the effort. Page of Swords. Spy. That's... Last card that kept falling out was Ace of Swords. And it fell off the table, and then when I put it on the table, it was upside down. Ace of Swords is truth and clarity. Like, a moment you'll get truth and clarity, and then it'll flip around. The one ace, though, that is missing is Ace of Wands. There's no conversation here. There's nothing to where you're sitting down telling this person, like, who are you with? I have trust issues. They're working. I feel like that's what this is surrounding. It's working. It's a job that they have. And there's this constant, like, complaint or worry. Who are they talking to? They're talking to somebody else. Okay, listen. Oh, God. When you, like I said, it's not even the job thing. I'm going to get into the relationship thing. If you can't not talk to one another for a couple days because you're afraid that the connection isn't going to be there, the connection isn't strong enough, then both sides need to walk away. Because a connection like this, you could go without talking to one another. By the time you talk to one another again, it's still there. If friends can reconnect after years of not speaking, why is it that there's this belief that when it comes to love and attraction, that I have to be up your ass or you got to be up my ass for me to believe that you feel this way? My late husband drove a cab towards the last few years of his life. Now, I did have trust issues with him. When it came to the cab, I would call him up and bug him about the cab. But when he left the door, I said, don't come back till you got money in your pocket. That's what I plan on, babe. That's what he would do. There goes the Ace of Swords again. See what I mean? Truth and clarity. And I did. I gave him a hard time. And see, upside down. Because when you deal with the bombardment of thoughts of them cheating on you, they're talking to somebody else, they're doing this, they're playing games, that's not truth. What that is a lie that's blinding you. And it's not only blinding your eyes, but it's also messing with your head. And it's this continuous thing, and it's like a fog over you. That's part of the shadow. That's shadow work. And you got to look at where the root of this comes from. And when you look at where the root of it comes from, you can yank it up by the root instead of having to cut it down like a tree. And you're cutting it down, and you're continuously going to end up cutting this tree down because the root is still there. You have to get to the root to pull it out. If the two of you are supposed to be together, honestly, two of you are supposed to be together. You can't do anything to stop it. You can't do anything to make it happen. You can't. Either way. And see, even if you're using magic, and I know people that have used the black magic stuff. Even if you do that, it comes back on you. And the person that they're supposed to be with, they will end up with. And when they finally get with them, you still have to pay the price of that bad karma coming back. I mean, that's... If you love somebody, you shouldn't have to babysit them. It's not a babysitting thing. It's not. It's... Instead of this being flipped up, reverse, flip it this way. And look at this truthfully. Look at it truthfully. If you don't trust them, maybe you need to step back, heal yourself, figure out why you don't trust them. If there's something that's going on between the two of you, then that needs to be a discussion that's not being had. And if this is something to where it's your trust issues, you got to heal that. So, this is what's going to come up in this full moon energy, whoever this is for. So, for the collective sign of Gemini, this is your full moon in Gemini read. Love and light.